Check one. Check two. And we're rolling. We are rolling. We're rolling like super thunder here on this 12th day of the 12th month of the 23rd year. It's almost Christmas time. It's Christmas time in the city and everywhere else too. Anxiety season. It's when the anxiety kicks up. People full of anxiety. Where am I? I'm rolling. I think we're rolling. There we go. What's up, everybody? I made it. I made it happen again. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the program. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. We're going to talk about Trump again. Bang, little granny cat from the past. Where are we? Yeah, we're going to talk about Trump again. Trump, look, it's America, free country. We're supposed to have a free democracy, they say, land of the free, home of the brave. But it does look like there is fat fingers leaning on the scale when it comes to our elections. I think most people in this country see it, say it, appreciate it, defend it. And it seems like it's ongoing. There's the newest move by Jack Smith, the, quote, special counsel, because we don't have counsel enough. We have to have special counsel because nobody agrees. No counsel agrees, so we have to pick a special guy to do it. Special counsel Jack Smith has petitioned the Supreme Court to do something with Trump's case. What are they doing? I forgot what they're doing. Oh yeah, they're trying to. It's so insignificant that I forgot what it was. What they're trying to do is they're trying to advance the date and ensure that Trump is tried, prosecuted, and maybe even thrown in jail before the election. Right? Now, there's no burning need to have this trial about Trump and January 6th and the insurrection and all the garbage, nonsense news over a rally that got out of hand. But Jack Smith is petitioning the Supreme Court. It's going right around the appeals courts to get right to the Supreme Court to get them to decide if Trump has some sort of immunity, some sort of presidential immunity or whatever. But they're trying to push. The bottom line is they're trying to interfere with the election by pushing the court dates forward so that maybe they can get a conviction on Trump before the election starts. Because if we have an election and it's free and fair, who knows what's going to happen? You never know. And Trump is announced the winner. All of these trials go flying out the window. It's all garbage. It was garbage then, and the sitting president Trump will just get rid of all of it because he can do that. He can pardon himself over and over again. But you do see the clear and unequivocal election interference. This is what it looks like today, where we have special counsel going after the opposition party, trying to convict that opposition party for felonies, unprecedented in American history. Supreme Court is likely to just chuck it because there's no urgency to hear any of this garbage, and you can't circumvent the appeals court. That's probably what the judges will say. But nonetheless, the dynamite exists. The dynamite, Mr. Jack Smith, is trying so hard with his, loony left adversaries to get this thing done, to get Trump jailed. right? Because he's so bad. He's the orange monster. So we'll look at it. Yes. Welcome everybody to the chat. Vinny DiMartini, how are you, man? What's up? Vinny's in the house. TJ is here. Snickle Fritz, what's up, man? What's up? William R. Hall up there in the beautiful Syracuse. Blue skies here as well, my brother. Really, really beautiful weather. It's cold. It might be like 30s. I stepped out for a minute. It was cold. But beautiful sunshine here in the northeast of Pennsylvania. Chris Milk reports sunshine in Buffalo, sunshine at Syracuse. These are places where it's usually fucking gray all the time. At Buffalo and Syracuse, and even where I am, it's gray quite often. But thank you everybody for joining us. Sidento is here as well, and whoever else is lurking. If I missed your name, just bear with me. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So as my thumbnail today, I found this amazing video of what Trump and Biden would look like if they were children arguing. Right? I got that video for you. I'll play it. So my name is Marcus Conte. I got a website. Every morning at 9 a.m., YouTube allowing, we're here, and we're live from 9 a.m. to from 9 a.m. every Monday through Thursday. And if you want to donate to the program, if you want to keep this thing alive before I starve to death, make a donation via Zelle. This is an unmonetized, demonetized platform. There's no dollars and cents here. But again, we keep it going. We keep it going because that's not the only motive here. There is a
waiters touching their masks and touching plates. Are you questioning
I think
the
masks
efficacy
are,
of it?
you have to understand, if you look, I have a mask right here. I put a mask on, when I think I need it. Tonight, as an example, everybody's had a test, and you've had social distance.
amazing.
When needed, I wear a mask.
Okay, let me ask.
I don't wear a mask like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from me, and he shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. I will say this.
Go ahead, Biden.
He wants to shut down the country. We just went through it. We had to because we didn't know anything about the disease.
Well, all right. Let's talk. We got a lot to unpack here, gentlemen.
But I'll tell you, Joe, you could never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job. I know how to do the job.
I
know how to get the job. Well, you didn't. It's on the ballot.
It's amazing, right? AI, they kind of look like kids, sort of.
I don't think so.
In the court.
Well, there's nothing happening there.
Donald,
And you don't know her
now.
You're gonna pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
Here's one
we're
of the
senators.
questions.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why would
because
you answer that
because
question?
the question is
That's really what they do sound like, though. They do sound like children. Whoever did that's brilliant, man. Thank you, Kids Heavenly Show. Thank you very much for that. That was pretty good. So let's dive into the news. Well, it was predictable over there in Gaza when you drop bombs on a city of 2 million people. You shut off the water. You cut off the food. You go door to door, riddling the inside of that whatever's in there with bullets. And when you go into the ground and start blowing up their underground fucking escape pods, and you totally militarily crush a country, this is what happens. Hunger, surprise, hunger rises in Gaza as UN prepares to vote on ceasefire resolution. Who cares? No one's going to listen to the UN anyway. It's up to the Israelis and the Americans, right? The Americans are the bankroll, and the Israelis are the executioners. All right, so UN, fuck you. They're not going to. UN can't do anything. But the point is, hunger is rising in Gaza. We knew that was going to happen, right? When you do that, when you drop bombs on people's heads and cut them off from the world, eventually they're going to starve to death. Here's the report. Hunger was worsening among Palestinians in the besieged Gaza Strip, aid agencies said, as the United Nations General Assembly prepared to vote on Tuesday on an immediate humanitarian ceasefire. Hundreds more civilians have died in Israel's assault on Gaza since the U.S. on Friday vetoed a Security Council ceasefire. Listen to this. This is unbelievable. Most of the Gaza's 2.3 million people, that's more than 1.2 over 1 million people have been driven from their homes. That's unbelievable, right? That's like 1 in every 2. Right? I don't know how the other people are still there. I don't know. From their homes, and residents say it is impossible to find refuge or food in the densely populated coastal enclave. The UN World Food Program has said half of the population is starving. Half of the population is starving. Right? This is Israel doing it. This is Israel's deed. Displacing, starving over 1 million people for some shit that happened at a rave, right? Some vile terrorism that happened at a rave. They're effectively putting it on the people of Gaza. 2.3 million people prepared to starve. How are you going to feed them? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? How long are you going to go without water? Right. Hunger stalks everyone, UN said. Gazans said people forced to flee repeatedly were dying of hunger and cold, as well as bombardments. So if you don't starve to death, if you don't dehydrate, maybe if you're lucky, you'll get hit with a bomb and it'll end your misery. All right? You're starving, you're thirsty, and you're running away from missiles hitting your house and your body, and shrapnel and death all around you. This is what Israel's doing. This is democracy in action. This is what and to point it out is of course anti-Semitism. You're just pointing it out because you hate the Jew. They say you hate the Jew. You hate the Jew. You hate the Jew. I am a Jew. You hate my Jew. I am a Jew. The Jew, right? The Jew. It's to suggest that this is inhumane to bomb fucking Palestine over nothing, over something that could have been worked around, right? You displace 1.3 million, right? And then cry anti-Semitism. It's ridiculous. The images speak, right? We saw, the Israeli army going door to door, boom, open the door, boom, just shooting into the doorways of, you're a terrorist, boom, stripping people down now too. They're doing that too. They're worried about, the bombs strapped on people's bodies. So they're stripping people publicly. It's getting ugly. It's getting really ugly. Scrutiny on support. So if you thought it was going to get better, it's not getting better. It's not getting better at all. It's a continuation of this devastation. Ask yourself this: when do you think Israel is going to feel safe and secure enough to stop killing these people? Right? When do you think when anything is going to spook them? If they see something, boom, they're going to start the bombs again. The bombs are going to start falling again. The second the Jew gets spooked, right? Netanyahu, right? So it's ongoing. Those are the numbers. 2.3 million people of Gaza, more than half are starving to death. More than half are starving to death. Israel, congratulations on your victory. Congratulations. So let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about Trump. Trump. Why is Jack Smith still going after Trump? As I said, the Trump trial, one of the three, the one with Jack Smith, where Trump allegedly is a tyrant and a fucking, I don't know what, inciting riots or whatever they say he's doing. It's all garbage. Directing people towards a rally. Felonies, they're all felonies, right? And so why that case, one of those cases, why bring the case to the Supreme Court to expedite it, to speed it up? Well, the evidence is in the polls. Look at the polls. Trump is on the Republican primary nomination. Trump is 50 points ahead. Right? He's your nominee. Donald Trump is your nominee. As of now, DeSantis has 11 points. Haley 11, Ramaswamy 5, Christie 2, Hutchinson and Burgum aren't even on the chart. So it looks like Reuters is reporting Trump has a 50-point lead over everybody else. NBC, Des Moines Register has Trump 32 points ahead. Michigan Republican primary, Trump 43 points ahead. This is why they're going after him, right? Trump in a head-to-head, also head-to-head. Michigan, a swing state. If the election was done today, Trump has a 10-point lead over Biden. 10 points, right? Trump versus Biden versus Kennedy. It looks like Trump has an 8-point lead. That's interesting. When you tally in the Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Cornel West, Trump goes down 2 points. You would think that he would go up 2 points. You would think that. Well, I guess Trump is the alternative to Biden. Right? So anything that's interesting. Trump needs to look at that number. If Trump is 10 points ahead, head to head with Biden, but he dips 2 points when Cornel West and Kennedy are in the equation. That's significant. There's something to that. There's something to that decrease. It usually what happens is, I'm freezing up right now. I'm just chill for a second. What usually happens is when there's independents running, right? When independents run in an election, they usually suck away from the Democratic Party. In this case, they're sucking away from the Republican Party, which is unprecedented. But here's your evidence. This is evidence that we need a game changer. Biden is not winning anywhere. Right? When you look at these polls, it's just, I mean, all right, California, I take that back. California, Biden's got a 24-point lead. Right? But where else is he winning? I don't see it. Biden is clearly the front runner in the Democratic Party, but you got to stop Trump. Trump is going to be the nominee. Trump is going to stand on the stage and face off against fucking Joe Biden again, right? And he's gonna flatten him. So that's what's going on. That's the backdrop. That's the reason why you ask yourself, why is Jack Smith going after Trump to change the date? Let's listen to some of the spin and we'll find out.
9 days. That's how long Donald Trump has to respond to a new motion filed by special counsel Jack Smith earlier today. Smith is asking the Supreme Court for an expedited ruling on whether Trump has presidential immunity for his actions related to his objections to the results of the 2020 election. Of course, all the usual suspects say it's all about making sure.
No crime. There's no crime. Trump objected to the results of an election. And it's not a crime. That's an investigation. That is a intellectual query. No crimes here, but we have special counsel to make sure that it is a crime. Right? That's the state of this election right now. Poor Trump.
The trains run on.
Poor us. Poor people.
Time.
I do think it's a smart move, Jake. I think it's a necessary move, in fact, because this is, as a practical matter, the only real way Jack Smith can hold on to his current trial date, which is March 4th, 2024.
They never mention why Jack Smith wants to hold on to the court date, his trial date. They want to hold on to the trial date because they want to get this thing happening before the election, right? So everybody is looking at Trump trial, Trump the felon, as opposed to Trump the candidate. That's the play. That's the interference. That's how they're doing it. They're bringing a case like this, up against a former president is unprecedented in American history. It never happened before because there is no crime. It's just a guy, using strong words to try to find out if the election was in fact rigged.
Only chance of keeping this case on track.
Now, that's a load of bunk. It's notable, right, that in his request, Jack Smith says it's important to decide it quickly, but he never gives any reason as to why. The only sensible explanation is that Smith filed this request because he wants Trump tried, convicted, and sentenced before the 2024 election. Joining me now.
That's correct.
Christopher Landau. Chris has argued before the court several times, and also clerk for Justices Thomas and Scalia. Chris, explain this for us.
All right. Well, it's good to be here, Laura. The special counsel filed 2 motions today. One was an extraordinary motion to have the Supreme Court decide this important immunity issue before the Court of Appeals. I mean, the district court, we have 3 levels in our system: district court, Court of Appeals, Supreme Court. The normal path is for the case to go to the Court of Appeals. Jack Smith.
Right. So it's convoluted, but what happened is the judge in Trump's trial said that Trump doesn't have presidential immunity, and Trump's lawyers fucking objected to that, right? So they're petitioning. They have to petition another court to overturn that ruling, right? And usually you go to the appeals court, but Jack Smith is going right to the Supreme Court so that he can expedite his trial and get Trump, fucking prosecuted, in Washington, D.C., when 92% of the people hate him.
Wants the Supreme Court to basically take that case before the Court of Appeals has even decided it.
Why?
Well, I think it's obvious. The mask is coming off, Laura, that this is about election interference.
Ding, 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 ding. This is about election interference, says that guy. What about this guy? What does this guy say?
Constitutional law attorney and a Fox News contributor. Professor Turley, I want to ask you about Hunter in just a second. But first of all, to this action that Jack Smith, the special counsel, took earlier today, filing a petition with the Supreme Court to determine whether or not Donald Trump has immunity from prosecution. He's trying to keep his case on track for a March start, which is just a couple of days before Super Tuesday. What's your read of all of this?
Well, it's not that this has never been attempted before, but it is not the regular order of things. Smith had just filed, or this matter was just filed before the D.C. Circuit. And then he decided that he wanted to leapfrog over the Court of Appeals and go directly to the Supreme Court. The only reason for that is that he is really focused entirely on trying Trump during this campaign,
right,
and trying to convict him before the election.
That's the whole thing right there. That's the whole thing. They're trying to expedite the trial so that Trump is on trial for his actions in the January 6th insurrection against our government and the overturning of our elections and the indignity and the danger that he put the entire country and the world into. It's garbage. It's emotional paranoia. It's political theater, right? And it's playing out in our courts, right? Bernie Sanders always said that if you want to change politics, if you want to change government, you have to run for office and then change it while you're in there. And unfortunately, it does seem that is now coming to fruition, excuse me. Right? It's coming fruition, right? It's coming to be, right? Now, I love Bernie Sanders. I think he's brilliant, but you do see the value, you see the consequences of what he was talking about. A lot of people believe and are aligned with the lunatic left, right? And political opinion changes very quickly. The fundamental problem, I think, is that emotions, emotions are the driving force behind these decisions. When you look at it, you say, well, what is the real problem with January 6th? That people felt afraid that the election was being challenged. They felt afraid. What the fuck does that mean? You felt afraid. You felt afraid of what? Of what? Law-abiding citizens pushing their way into the halls of Congress to voice their opinion? You're afraid of that, and you're a politician? Quit. Resign. Go away. What are you're afraid? Fear. Right? They're acting on their own fear. It's really what it is. Right? This guy is a a proxy for fear. Right? Get Trump. It's politics, but it's also fear. Right? Play on the average person's fear. Right? Play politics on with the average person's fear.
The question is whether the Supreme Court's going to feel that that is such an urgent priority that you actually bring this case before Super Tuesday. Usually the Supreme Court likes to hear from multiple Court of Appeals. They certainly want normally to hear from at least one on these issues. And so they may not have the same sense of priority as Smith, who seems almost obsessed with trying Trump before the election.
Is there any other reason other than politics to want to do that?
No. No.
Well, there's a tactical reason. If Trump wins, he can pardon himself, and then Smith will never see a jury in this case.
That's a ding 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 right there. If Trump, this is all garbage, right? If Trump wins, Trump's fighting for his life. I think I'll elaborate on that. If Trump wins, it's over. Right? If Trump wins, Trump's legal problems are over. If Trump loses, Trump's legal problems are also over because Trump is no longer a threat. Trump will, by default, go off into the horizon. He's not going to sit around 4 more years and try to run at 82 years old. Trump is done. After this cycle, Trump is done. He's either president for a second term or he's done. Right? He writes his memoirs and they leave him alone. They're not going to come after. They won't go after Trump because he's no longer a threat. He's out of the fray. He's just got a big mouth, and they can deal with that. But when he's running for power, that's different, right? If Trump wins, he has power, and that scares the shit out of him, right? It scares the shit out of the power structure.
So if Trump does prevail in the election, if he's not convicted at that point, he can give himself a preemptory pardon. He doesn't have to wait for the trial.
All right. So let's get on to Hunter Biden. You wrote a couple of columns, one in the New York Post, in which
I don't want to listen to that. Let's see. Let's give a leftist spin. Let's see how the lefties are spinning.
Special counsel Jack Smith's request to take up Donald Trump's presidential immunity claim. Smith made an unusual request Monday, asking the Supreme Court to rule quickly on whether Trump was immune from prosecution in his 2020 election interference case. Trump has asked an appeals court to weigh in on the question of his immunity as a former president, which means the March trial is on hold. But now the Supreme Court will make a decision in the case first. CBS News legal.
So Trump has successfully put the trial on hold by petitioning the court above, the one court above, the appeals court, and Jack Smith jumped over that appeals court and went right to the Supreme Court, right, to speed it up. Why? What's your rush?
Contributor and Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson joins me now. Jessica, what do you make of what Jack Smith is doing with this request?
He knows that time is of the essence, and
why is time of the essence, Professor? Please tell us why time is of the essence. Why is it so important that you do it now? Why? To interfere with the election. Time is of the essence. We have to get Trump taken down before he becomes the president again. Of course, we don't want that to happen, do we? That's what she's saying.
he is trying to keep that March trial date. So that's why he doesn't want to wait for the...
Listen again.
He knows that time is of the essence, and he is trying to keep that March trial date. So that's why...
Right. So why? And then you ask yourself, why is time the essence? Because of the election. That's it. It's election interference. That's what it is. That's why they're doing it.
He doesn't want to wait for the intermediate court. He doesn't want to wait for the D.C. Circuit. He's going straight to the Supreme Court. And he said throughout his request, I need a ruling from you now, because he knows, and the former president knows, that the longer this drags out, the better it is for the former president. So
the better it is for the former president. What does that mean? What do you mean better? You mean fair for the president?
Former president knows that the longer this drags out, the better it is for the former president.
The better it is for the former president. And we can't have that. If something is better for Trump, we have to make sure the law goes out the window when it comes to Trump. If it's better for Trump, we got to get him now.
That's why he's taking this fairly rare step of saying, Supreme Court, we need you at this moment.
And the judge in the case already ruled that there is no immunity, but that doesn't matter. It's got to go up the
That's right.
up the ladder. You mentioned
That's correct. The judge in the case ruled that there is no immunity. You go to the next appeals court and then the Supreme Court. Right? So I'm done with this. Right? You see how utterly fucked up it is. Right? How this is what election interference, election. Does it rise to the level of election fraud? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's clear. So poor Trump. Let's look at the markets. Red. How about that? It looks like we're red today. CPI meets estimates as inflation continues to cool. So that was a good number. A good number. CPI number in, and markets are. I don't know, they're wrinkling their nose to it. Dow Jones Industrial Average, we're open down 13, S&P 500 down 12, NASDAQ down 23 at the moment. And there was some unfortunate news with Google. Google was dealing with some sort of app lawsuit in the great state of California. It doesn't seem to be affecting the value. Apple and Google are under fire for app revenue that they say the state of California might rule that that's a monopoly and allow other app companies to come in, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the price too much. 50 cents, not too shabby. Microsoft up 8 cents, Tesla down 5, Nvidia down 44 cents. It's like a flat to red open right now. Bitcoin coming off the top, we're down to 41,000, down 188 today. What else? War stocks, Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, all red today. The holy vaccine stocks, all red as well. So I'm looking at a red screen right here. Everything's red. What's green? Amazon's a little green, Microsoft a little green, a little bit of green. And, how's Rivian doing? Let's check out Rivian, man. See Rivian, the big bounce off the bottom. Is Rivian, the big bounce, the one that everybody retires from? I don't know. It's down today. Down 64 cents, down a whopping 4%. Might be approaching entry right here. Rivian at $18.28. That's the daily. Is this the daily? Yeah, you see the daily, how it's starting to go above, coming down today, but it's still above the moving averages. It's above the both of them. So this could be the turnaround right here. This could be an entry point for Rivian again. Anyway, man. So Chris Milk says, which way will it lean at the end? That's a good question. I guess if you're talking about the election, which way will it lean towards the end? I don't know. I guess if I were a gambling person, I would have to bet the odds that Biden will somehow, the Biden and the dirty Democrats will cheat their way in. I base that assessment on the fact that they have no boundaries whatsoever legally and ethically they'll do whatever they can in their hysteria to stop Trump. And half the country doesn't care. They like it. They like it. Whatever you got to do, just stop him. I hate him. He took away my abortion rights, and he's a fucking animal, and he's an orange monster, and half the country will go along with it, no matter what the Democrats do. So if I was a gambler, I would probably have to bet on Biden being declared the winner. In terms of raw numbers, I think Trump wins. I don't see how he loses. How does Trump lose? The young vote is breaking away from the Democrats. Blacks are breaking for Trump. Latinos breaking for Trump. Everybody's breaking for Trump. So I don't see how he loses. Where's Biden's support? Where is it? Bunch of angry fucking liberals somewhere. I don't see the support. I don't see it, man. So thank you everybody for joining me. Marcus Conte reporting on this sunny day, 33 degrees here in northeast Pennsylvania, and strange sounds in my audio. Hang in there, folks. Anxiety season is almost over. Anxiety season. You can feel it in your core. Yo. Peace, everybody.